It's showtime. Welcome to the Small Scale Life YouTube channel and the Small Scale Life podcast. I am Tommy Cakes, your lovable host from Small Scale Life, and my awesome co-host is
Adam with Modern Frontier Farms.
consistent as always, my brother. Always consistent and always there. How are you doing today, sir?
You know what? We've been having some amazing weather for January
Mm,
going into now February,
February.
so man, weather's been really nice. Been able to get a lot of things done around the farm. Animals are kind of enjoying a little bit warmer weather. Yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit cooler again, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that too. This is still winter, and so that's to be expected.
Winter in Wisconsin. We had the polar vortex about 2 weeks ago, and yes, it's been warmer. We bumped up into the 40s, I think, and I think you were up around 50.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like 55.
And if you're an ice fisherman, the fish were popping down in Lake Jordan near Oxford because all roads lead to Oxford, Wisconsin. So my brother was at an event. They had three northerns. One was 35 inches, one was 32 inches, and one was 25 inches. Those are big northerns that they pulled out of Lake Jordan. So that was where my grandma had her resort once upon a time, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. So that's pretty cool, dude. And the weather has been good. It's still cold enough where the birds need suet. And I've got something here, dude.
Uh-oh.
You know what this is, Adam? What is this, Adam?
Looks like a box with some red shiny stuff on it.
Right. So this is my mold that I built the other day. I poured it. I'm going to try to open it on the air here. So this was
Exciting.
silicone. I'm trying to get it out.
Is it silicon or silicone?
Silicone?
Silicon? Yeah, whatever,
Whatever. Oh my God, it's really tough.
I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to make fun of you.
I know you are. Holy crap. I might not be able to do this on the air. Hold on.
Come on.
Come on.
Did you break everything?
What's that?
Did you break your mold already?
No. No, it's supposed to do that. So you build a box around the thing you're trying to mold, and then you use hot glue to glue it in there. Then you pour the silicone like epoxy around this thing. So, man, here we go. So now we're getting to it. Sorry for everyone. That's a loud noise.
Oh, it's not too terribly loud, but
okay.
No, I'm just watching. Watching you destroy this thing. Hopefully, you don't rip your mold. I mean, man, you're like really.
I'm super excited, actually. Holy crud! I built a really good box this time, and it didn't do the last time where it didn't mold properly. So we got a good mold here, dude. I mean.
So is this a kit that's that you buy, or is it there's some you're making your own silicone?
No, not making my own silicone. I'm not like Breaking Bad over here, but I did buy a product called Amerilite, and you get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and you put two of the compounds together like you would epoxy, and then you pour the stuff. Oh yeah, dude, this is awesome. This is going to work. Don't rip, baby. I'll show you it in a second. So there's the box that I had. And now I am removing the mold around it.
What an exciting podcast. Everyone's
I know, right? Yeah. Here we go. There it is.
It looks like a box.
It is. So what is this, Adam? Do you know what this is?
It's a silicone mold
of a box. Yes. So the real deal with this is now I can make a 5x5 suet mold, a suet cake for the birds. So this is like industry standard stuff. So when you go to a big box store and you buy the package of silicone or of suet, it usually comes in a big cake like this. And so now I have my very own mold, and I can make a 5x5 cake That'll be about an inch or inch and a quarter thick. So there we go.
Very cool.
So the reason why that's important is because, if we're talking about finances and ways to get out of debt, there's two ways to do it, right? You can get a side hustle, make some more money, sell some of your stuff, your extra stuff, do a little side hustle on the side, or you can cut expenses or do both, right? You can do both, cut expenses and try to raise more revenue. So this is a way to raise a little bit more revenue, right? To sell the Tommy Cakes suet, or you sell your meat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're raising revenue, and then we can also talk about cutting expenses. So that's the topic of the show tonight, actually. So
perfect.
It worked. Holy crap, it worked, dude. It worked.
So you couldn't buy a 5x5 silicone mold?
I couldn't find one.
You couldn't find one.
I couldn't find one, my friend. I could not find one. I swear. I mean, the soap, a bar of soap is about a third of this, actually. Oh man, the infamous, the awesome Greg Burns checking in. Greg was just in Waukesha. He was down that way for the Midwest Bee Expo. Looks like they had a lot of shenanigans, and I got to see him last year up in Wausau. So great guy. Love Greg. He's doing some great things in Ohio with bees, and he travels all over. So
you mean Greg was only like 30 minutes away from me?
He was. Yes,
oh,
he was there. Goodness. I know. It looked like a really good show too. They've been knocking it out of the park in the bee world with all the shows that they've been having. So good to see you on board, Greg. Love you, man. Hope you're doing great. So it's always good. Be the lighthouse, brother. So, and he's on the stream team every Wednesday. I think around 7:30ish time frame. But he and the guys are they do their thing. Talk about bees, talk about really giving back. And it's what's cool about their thing, just to brag on my friend a little bit, is they are really into having like a mentality like a beehive. There's not one person that's going to dominate and rule everything. They're going to help each other, do things together, break bread together. That's the way it really should be. That's the way a great community functions. So it was really cool to see that in action in Wausau last year. So yeah, I know he was right down your way, brother. I should have hooked you two up. That's for sure. So, we'll connect with him for sure. He's a good guy, and Susan is awesome. And Brian and Bruce are really good guys too. So they gotta love those guys. So thanks for tuning in, dudes. Really love to see you. So yeah, let's talk about cutting expenses, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I guess this is the month to do it. So let's make a challenge of it. Gamification of everything is like one of the things that I really enjoy, right?
Gamification, what does that mean, my friend?
Oh, gamification. Make every project into a game.
Make every project into a great game. Okay, I got it.
Right, exactly. So one way you can do it. So you're like, hey, I have to fold this laundry. I have to do it in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So you sit there and you do that. You sit there and make it so that, hey, I'm going to exercise. And if I do this, I get an award, or, especially people like myself that have ADHD, like an MRFer.
Yeah.
Anyways, you make it into a game, and then it doesn't seem so bad. So
yeah,
that's kind of what is it frugal February or no spend February? What are we calling this?
Well, there's two ways to think about it. So I was doing some research on this because I've called it both at one time or another. So we have no spend February, which is really not spending a dime other than what your essentials are, right? I mean, you are paying your bills and really using what you got. That's it. Frugal February, okay, you can have a few expenses, but it's not like you're going out to dinner and you're buying all these things, and you're really trying to use what you've got and truly try to tighten it up, but you're not so restrictive that you're not spending anything. So if we put it in the world of, we just did the 24-hour fast, right? So okay, you can have, on a no spend, you're probably doing just water and tea and black coffee. And then with maybe a frugal, it's more of maybe a piece of fruit, so it's not so restrictive, or in the Whole30 world, right? You're hardcore Whole30 and you cut all that stuff out. But in a dirty Whole30, well, there's a couple things that sneak in every now and then. So it's just depends how you want to run it. So you can make great gains either way, by really trying to cut those expenses and really pulling back, and just not spending everything. So you think about it. I mean, December, we were spending all kinds of money on gatherings and presents and dinners and events and, all that stuff. And then January, well, you have my birthday on January 2nd. So the party continues, right? So then you have the letdown, because here comes the credit card bill. Here comes your bank account. And you're like, oh, I spent a lot of money. What am I going to do? Right? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And there's been times when Jules and I have looked at each other and we're like, we got a lot of month left and not a lot of money, like $50 in the account. And we got to get gas and we got to have food on the table and we got to do this with this and this. And how are we going to do that? So, so now it's time to catch up. So that's kind of the no spend versus the frugal February.
Right.
In my opinion, right? How do you see it? Do you see it similar?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense to me. This is a newer concept for me. Like,
okay,
I've heard you talk about it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit more of a new challenge for Lisa and I. Just sit there and go, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something. It's a cool little challenge. It shows me what we can do, what we can't do, and kind of that just having a little bit of a game, like I said, gamification of it,
right? Where
it's like, okay, we're going to challenge ourselves. We're going to put ourselves in a position where we can win at this.
Yeah. And, we were talking about this right before the show, and I mean, how do I put this? And not sound too political. I thought we were going to be in a trade war today or tomorrow. I thought that everything from potash to 2x4s to any kind of lumber to, I don't know, Canadian whiskey, right? Or cars coming across the border, avocados, all that stuff. I thought we were going to be like paying bigly, I really did. So that I was going into this with this thought in mind too, that holy smokes, the prices are going to be just overwhelming. Let's really cut those expenses now, and kind of ride out the storm for a little bit and let it all kind of play out. And lo and behold, we have a 30-day stay, which takes us into March, for Canada and Mexico, but not China yet, but still for tariffs, and everything comes from China, and the European Union might get it, and Panama Canal might get it, and there's a lot going on. So this is a good timing for this, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. You got to teach yourself what you can go without.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better, just like anything else, exercise before you have to do. Finances can be a workout just like anything else. You study for a test.
Yep.
And we might be going through a fairly big test here in the future.
Right.
We're still trying to kind of recover from all these other things that have affected our economy from 2008 to 2012 to 2020. I mean, it just keeps going and rolling in. Eventually, I think the chickens are going to come home to roost, and then we're going to have to sit there and figure out what we're going to do. How are we going to do this as individuals, as people in the lifestyle, in the healthier lifestyle? This is all like stuff that we've done our whole lives, right? Or since we got interested in preparedness. This is just another way to get ourselves ready for preparedness. That is maybe it's not going to be as much of a shock. Still going to hurt.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but we'll have better ideas of how we can do this without getting in ourselves in that position of getting that shock. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I didn't even put I should have, but I didn't. I wasn't even putting the prepping, homesteading spin on that, where maybe you've got a pantry full of stuff and you haven't been rotating. Stop. You've just been kind of, it's over there. Really happy. It's awesome. I'm glad I've got it. I've got prepped. I'm good to go. But this would be a great opportunity to actually test those rice and beans and see if you like them as much as you have them, or eat down some of those 900 cans of tuna or green beans or whatever is in, or stuff that you've canned, right? I mean, canned goods don't have an infinite shelf life, and it's time to start rotating and getting ready for the year. And this is also a good exercise, try out some new recipes. And also, if you're thinking about it, thinking about what do you want for the 2025 garden, and start thinking ahead for that too. So there's a lot of elements to this that are going to come together nicely, I think, in 28 days. And that's another advantage for doing a no spend or a frugal February, is it's only 28 days, well, only 25 now since we're 3 days in, and it's the shortest month, so you can do it. And, it's just kind of like walking around the block. You can do it. It might hurt your knees, but you're going to do it. Or you can do it. So that's a good thing.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think just having that, it's the easiest month to do it. And it's right after, we have a month in between, right after the holiday hangover, financial holiday hangover. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, that's true. The financial holiday hangover.
Spring is right around the corner. This is a boring time of year.
Sure is.
So, and a lot of times, what do we do when we're bored? Spend useless money for no reason, dumb stuff.
We go buy Amazon stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to be coming into, February. If you think about it, a little bit later in February, it'll be seed starting season, so you can get your seeds going. And if you're not running around restaurants and eating establishments or all the other things, you can be home and working on that, or developing that little side hustle or business. So, which is happening in full swing here at the Landing in a couple different ways. So it's pretty exciting, actually. So.
Well, that's a great point. Like you just recently have done a couple of the fasts, right?
Yeah.
And you realize, but just by fasting, it didn't hurt you. Actually,
no.
I think you look thinner in the face.
Oh, thank you. Let's zoom in here a little bit. How am I looking?
Oh yeah,
good as usual.
Jules is a lucky gal.
She's got all this going on. Yeah, she loves it.
But when you go out to eat, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But just to go out to eat these days, just for two people, you're looking at $60 easy.
Right.
And that's if you don't decide to do extra drinks and whatnot, and you just go with pretty much the bare minimum and just a decent meal.
Yep.
So that's one way, but it's the time. My wife and I, we say, oh, we're going to go on a date. We're going to go out to eat. It's 30 minutes so we start at 3:00. Like, oh, we got to be done with our project at 3:00. We have to do all these other things. Got to get ready. Got to get over to the restaurant. You're not home till 8:00. All of a sudden, 4 to 5 hours of your day are gone.
Right. She's going to bed at 9. So, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's also it is a time saver also. So it's not just a finance saver, it's a time saver.
Right. And we're going to have to get creative because we're implementing date night, once a week. So this week it might be a yoga class, because I think Jules picked up she's subbing 3 extra yoga classes at various studios around here. So it might be going to a yoga class and maybe grabbing a hot chocolate afterward or something, or a cider or something. But it's going to be simple stuff, right? And we're going to have to get creative, because we're not going to be just making it rain and going out to dinner and the movie, and oh my God, here's $150 later, right? It just gets so expensive so fast.
Well, that's one of the things Lisa and I love to do, is we like to cook together. and do something creative with the people that you love. And we work really well in the kitchen together, and beautiful recipes come out of the kitchen when we're together doing that. So
Oh, it's making
maybe that's a
beautiful,
good idea.
beautiful recipes. It's delicious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome, dude. No, and I would say that's Julie and I, but I think she's kind of delegating the cooking stuff to me, which I'm happy with. But she does a great job. So,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. I believe it.
yeah, no, I think we were both. It wasn't really a date, but it was kind of a creative thing where she's working on her thing over at her desk right over there, and I'm working on my thing right over here, and kind of bouncing ideas off and everything. But that was not date night. No, we're gonna have to get creative with that. So,
All right.
kind of fun.
Go for a walk
Mm.
on the frozen lake. You know, you can both freeze to death together. It'll be great.
Thanks. That's a pleasant thought, buddy. I
Oh
love
yeah.
you.
Well, okay. So, but the other thing is,
Mhm.
we're only the second month of the year, right?
That's right.
So, kind of a fresh start, don't you think?
I do. Yes, absolutely. It is a reset for sure. And I know a lot of research has shown that all of the resolutions and mantras and intentions and all the goals have all the best intentions in the world. There you go. Pinky up. A lot of people are done with that stuff. They kind of, they hit the cupcakes, right? Like we were chatting, I think a couple times ago, the cupcakes in the next room, and then they're going to start next Tuesday. And next Tuesday comes like, oh, I just had sausage McMuffin with egg and 3 hash browns from McDonald's. Oh, I'll do that next Tuesday. And then suddenly you're into February. So this is a good time to readjust and reset too. Absolutely. Whether it's your wellness goals or all of this fun, frugal February, no spend February. So.
Well, I know you're a creative person. I'm pretty creative myself, but you didn't come up with this. Who came up with this idea?
I don't know where I heard about it, to be honest with you. I know we've had friends that have done this. Our friend Lisa, they've done this a few years. I know Dave Ramsey has talked about it, and Financial Peace University, all that. You've heard of Dave Ramsey, of course, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, the baby steps and all that stuff. But this is kind of another one of those elements where you can kind of kickstart your journey into getting out of debt and everything. The minimalists have talked about this. Have you heard about the minimalists?
Oh yeah. Through you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's kind of funny. I've seen Dave twice in person down in Indianapolis when we lived in Illinois, and we saw the minimalists in Minneapolis. Actually got to shake one of their hands. Actually, we were in the front row, so that was kind of cool. But that was a few years ago. But people like that have come up with this idea to really, try to stop people, help people stop just blowing it all out and sitting there with too much month at the end, and not enough money in the bank. So yeah, it's that. I think that's kind of the origins of it, and really the self-improvement side too.
Sounds perfect. There's seems like a lot of people are having the same idea, putting it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, how are we going to implement this?
Yeah. So that's a good question. Really it comes down to kind of, the big one for us you've got your static bills, right? Your mortgage, your insurance, your phone bill, those are pretty static. Hey, girls are outside. Anyway, totally distracted me and knocked me up.
Tommy Cakes distracted by women again. What can we say? It doesn't matter how old you get, just keep getting distracted by women. It's never gonna change.
Where was I? You got your static bills. You've got to pay and do those, right? But then it's all the extra stuff, and really trying to set limits on that, and trying to use what you can, especially when you're grocery shopping, right? I did come up with some tips on doing this, and maybe I'll pull those up because it's always better to show.
It's always good to have some decent tips on how to make this happen, because it's really easy to just say, well, I'm not going to spend any money.
Yeah,
There we go.
it's not reality. Like everything, it comes back to the big why, right? And I already have the article posted up on smallscalelife.com. It is titled, if you would like to follow along, it's called the No Spend Challenge. Can you survive 28 days? It's on the front page of smallscalelife.com. And I thought it was really important to get this up there so people can start noodling on it, right? So starting with the big why. Why are you doing this? This is the big thing. Talk with your partner, talk with your spouse, talk with your roommate or whomever to kind of come up with that big why of why you're doing this, right? Is it just to save a little bit of extra cash, just maybe to pay off some debt, just to develop better habits? Because it takes time to develop habits, right? The Atomic Habits guys, they talk about the time and repetitive nature of things, and it takes time to develop those habits. It just doesn't happen overnight. You got to spend some time doing it, and then setting rules. I'm not going to go out to eat, right? Not going to rent a movie. Just use the Netflix that you've got or the Hulu or whatever you got. Or what else? Not going to run to the Quick Trip to get a Gatorade or a coffee at Starbucks, or bring your lunch every day. These are the rules that you can kind of set up, what other rules are there, man? Do you think of any right offhand that'll get you?
I mean, to me, it's like, eat at home,
Mm-hmm.
That's like an easy one, right?
Yeah.
Try to find things that are free or
Mm.
low cost.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's February, but you know what? That's the cool thing about February is we start climbing out of this cold weather a little bit.
Yep.
Days are going to get a little bit longer. So yeah, go on out, find free things to do. Go to the park, go for walks. I would say go ice fishing, but that's expensive. But
especially if you don't have any of the gear, right? Or even minnows and waxies. There's some cost involved with that.
Absolutely. But it's also a great way to kind of watch your waistline a little bit. Like, okay, I'm not going to go stop at the gas station to get myself a little burger or a snack. Look at I'm going to sit there and go, what is in my freezer?
Yeah.
I have some awesome meat in my freezer. I need to eat that meat, and set that time apart just for that. Putting off buying extra clothes, I think is another big thing. You know what I mean? So just, those little expenses, can you get a little bit longer out of the clothes that you have?
Yeah.
Small stuff. Those are kind of things that I'm sitting there thinking, like, do maybe stop before you make the purchase. Do I really need this?
Yes. Yep. That's a great question. And just, delay that satisfaction a little longer if you can, right? I mean, obviously there's going to be things that come up that you're going to need, but sometimes it's just a want, not a need. I mean, you want it so bad it's a need, but it's not really a need. So just wait a little bit. I mean, even with the seed starting stuff, if you start March 1st or right in early March, you're still good. If you don't have the soil, you don't have the seeds yet, just hold on, get your seed catalogs. They're free. Dream a little bit, plan it, but just hold on, hold your horses a little bit. So the big one that we're going to have to fight with on this month is another holiday coming, right?
Another holiday.
Well,
what I don't understand. There's no holidays in the month of February.
Oh, it's that thing again, right?
The hard hands.
The hard hands holiday. It's Valentine's Day, babies. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. That's a tricky one. I have had some miserable Valentine's Day because Tommy Cakes did not prepare. Oh, you got a big one too there, Sunshine.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah.
I think once I made her this wonderful stew on Valentine's Day. It was it was like a French inspired stew. It was And she really enjoyed it up until I told her what it was, and then she stopped eating it. It was the weirdest thing. I made heart stew on Valentine's Day out of a heart, real heart. I mean, to me, that just makes sense.
Yeah, that's the time back in high school. Jules' parents had like a half cow, and part of the cow was the tongue. So my buddy Scott and they had cooked dinner, and it was delicious. So we came over for dinner. Jules and her friend Nikki, they had made a special dinner, and we were both sitting there, and they brought this thing out, and it was the tongue, and we're just like, what is that? I mean, we're two suburbanite kids, never had seen a tongue before in our lives, and it was just like, but it was a joke, thank goodness. And you're going to tell me that tongue is actually delicious, I'm sure that there's a whole way to prepare it and everything, but that's just for the suburban guy. Nah.
Have you ever had tacos?
Tacos?
Tongue tacos.
No.
Oh, okay. Next time you're in Milwaukee, we're going to go down. We're going to get some authentic lengua tacos. Or next time you're around the Mexican restaurants and you see lengua, just get lengua. Go ahead, get it. It's really good. Highly recommend it.
No. So you actually made heart stew, huh?
Heart stew. Oh, it was delicious. I did a beefy wine reduction to it and everything. Oh, it turned out great. You would not have known unless I told you.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit different texture to the hearts, but it's not nearly as different as, say, the tongue or liver or something like that. So
Lisa, you are a brave soul. I got to give it to you. I got to give you some props. Well done.
She married me. What can I say?
I know. So much to say about that anyway, my friend. But so Valentine's Day and Lisa's birthday are two things that we're going to have to overcome or work around, right? So you're going to have to come up with a plan for that, my friend. And maybe you already have maybe you did. Maybe you got a present already, and that would be just awesome. So so maybe what we can do is have some ideas as we roll towards the holiday. And I know, because my wife is a wedding florist and has been for years. I mean, Valentine's Day is a big moneymaker for the florists because they are just overpriced. The flowers are overpriced, especially roses. So pro tip, if you are going to buy flowers, do not buy roses, buy other flowers, because you probably get a better price for those. So anyway, pro tip.
So would it make sense to have Valentine's Day a couple days afterwards?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a made up holiday anyways, but you want to focus and show that you have love and affection. So therefore, maybe one of the best things you can do is put it after the holiday and go, you know what? Get the deals, still celebrate it, because guess what? Your love is all year long. It doesn't matter what day it is. Yes,
that's
it's
true.
fun. You can still have your fun. Do it afterwards.
I would I would want to explain that very carefully.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Make sure you get dollar store cards too are $1.25. You don't have to spend $7 to $8 to $9 for a card. So that's another pro tip too. So that is a very good thing. And you can write your own little lovely saying or a poem in there. So yeah, I think we're going to have a whole Valentine's Day show coming up on how to save money. So as we work through all of this, right?
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those hopeless romantics like Tommy Cakes here.
I am a hopeless romantic. Plan ahead. This is all part of the planning ahead. Granted, we're 3 days in, so this is where you can take a look at your freezer, look at your pantry, look at your preps, see what you got, and start building your menus and your recipes and everything around that. Start using that stuff up, because in March you get to replace it all with new stuff and, rotate the stock. This is all part of that prepping and homesteading. I mean, this is stuff that our grandparents did naturally. And it's, it was always the interesting day when you went in, were looking for something and it was something that expired like 3 years ago. So, don't do that. Just use your stuff, start to cycle through it. You know what I mean? So, so check that out, do an inventory. And one of the big ones too, and Jules and I did this yesterday, sat down and we planned out our menu for the week. And that's a big one for, it doesn't have to be just a no spend or frugal February. It's just all the time. Plan it out, because we found too that your grocery list is based off of that. And if you're not planning, failing to plan is planning to fail. You're just winging it. And I'm great at winging it, but I'm probably going to spend a lot of extra money. Right. And the more times you make the trip back to the store to pick up, that thing you forgot, you're going to pick up 5 more things, especially when you're hungry. Never shop when you're hungry, because man, you are going to be just spending money like crazy.
And it's kind of fun, like all the dumb things you buy when you're hungry. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, these chips sound awesome. They're
yes.
They're Frito chili cheese dog flavor, and just like great.
Yep.
Then they sit on your shelf. You open the bag. You ate a few of them. It tasted okay at first, and then you're like, "What was I thinking?" So don't shop hungry.
Yes, the spicy sweet walnuts. They're really good, but man, they're probably expensive at Aldi. And then it's like this little bag, and you're like, well, what was that all about? It's because they look good, right?
You eat with your eyes first.
Yes. And also, pro tip for Aldi: don't walk down the aisles of shame, right? All that extra stuff they've got, it's like a tractor beam, right? And you're going to be pulled into it like moth to flame. So steer clear. You don't need any stuff this month. Just keep going. Avoid the aisles of shame. You know what I'm talking about. If you've been to Aldi, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
This is a good one too. Amy Dingman from Farmers Kind of Life did this earlier this year. She went through her subscriptions, and holy cow, she found stuff that she had no idea she was subscribed to. And she canceled a bunch of them and saved a lot of money. I mean, once upon a time, we paid one fee for cable. We got 15 Spanish channels and 10 news channels, and then maybe HGTV or something, and then the regular channels. And then they all did subscription services. And you can suddenly rack up a lot of money in a short amount of time with Hulu, Netflix, HBO, whatever. So ESPN package, Disney package, Discovery Plus package. I mean, my goodness, Gaia. I mean, every channel has a subscription package. So go through those. And also for social media type stuff, for content creators like myself, that's why we're not subscribed to StreamYard yet. I mean, it's $30 a month, right? But I do have Audible, which is 20 some bucks a month, right? And I have podcast hosting, which is $19 a month. And is there anything that we can cut there? That would be a really good thing to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things is, there's so many, they nickel and dime you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only $6 a month for Hulu. It's only $7, $10 a month for Netflix. And if you're busy and you're keeping yourself doing and focusing on what you should be focusing on, you don't even realize that you're missing it anymore. And there's so many free services out there also that you could be watching. Yeah, there's commercials.
Right.
But guess what? There's commercials on Netflix and Hulu these days too, and you're paying for it.
I know. It's really like, what the heck? I thought this is why I was paying the fee, so I didn't have to watch a commercial. Come on, man.
And steal your friends.
I know.
Just steal those friends that don't care about their finances. You're better than that.
Yeah. So another good one, yep, cancel, pause, subscriptions, the free activities. We kind of talked about that. Oh, one is read the unread books that you've got. Do you have any unread books, bro?
No.
No. I know I got a bunch back here too. A bunch of homesteady gardening ones that
Oh, I have some awesome books. Like I hope my kids enjoy really good books because I got a bunch of really good books back here. Um, I got two big bookshelves full of books, and I got them all for really good deals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have like the Foxfire books there. I got a lot of homesteading books, hunting books, history books, all that good stuff. Oh yeah,
Yep.
it's just gold. So
Yeah.
whenever the grid goes down and I'm stuck without anything to do, I have my books.
Yeah. That's another topic we should talk about sometime, or books and things if the grid goes down, what's useful and whatnot. That's another good one. We'll have to cover that another day, not today. Free activities. Yep. Free workout apps. That's an interesting one. Free workout apps. YouTube has got incredible amounts of stuff, including a ton of podcasts by me and you now too. So you can all catch up, binge, and watch a lot of good podcasts out there and shows on YouTube. Another good one, avoid temptation, right? This is scrolling through Amazon.com, walking through the aisle of shame at Aldi, going to the thrift stores, all that stuff. Oh, one more thing you need to cancel is cancel Butcher Box and then order from Adam directly. That's what you really need to do to get some really MFing good meat. So,
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely.
I stand behind that one totally. We have some great things that great flavors. You know where the food's coming from. You get to shake the hand that feeds you. Gets sent right to your door, magically shows up your doorstep. It's when you're looking at good subscriptions, that would be a really good subscription.
That would be a good subscription.
Plus,
and
you're making me happy. You're not
Right.
you're not making some rich guy happy. You're making some poor guy like myself happy.
You'd make this person very happy too. So. Oh man, yeah, definitely good stuff there. Yeah, avoid temptation. Credit cards. It's really an interesting thing. Have you done the baby steps and all that, Adam?
A little bit.
Okay.
We've gone through some of that. We paid down our credit cards.
Yep.
There's so many ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's part of the reason why I'm able to do what we're able to build this business is because we got our finances in order.
Yeah, that's a huge, it's points of freedom, right? And if you're debt free, the whole world opens up to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can be if times get really tough, you can be a Walmart greeter because you don't have any payments, and that's a huge leg up. So there is a psychological thing that happens when you're using a piece of plastic versus a stack of cash, right? You really, really, really don't like when Benjamin leaves. Benjamin Franklin leaves your hand. You're very sad when that happens. But the card is just like, shing, 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 shing. I don't know. It's just done. But when Benjamin leaves your hand or George Washington leaves your hand, you're like, oh, I feel really bad now. Right? That was see that stack of green go down. It does change something in your brain, and you're not going to spend as much money, really, to be honest with you. So, because when it's gone, it's gone. There's no more spending, with the card. There's no more swiping. So that's why Dave does preach about cash. And it is, I know there's a few people that are watching and they're probably going or listening going, oh my God, if I never have cash in my wallet and I can't keep cash in my wallet. And that's the point. You're not spending it then, right? Because once it's gone, it's gone. So there is something that happens with cash. So give that a try. You got to be careful. And then the one lesson learned from all that, is don't play the banking game or the government game where, okay, I've got the stack of cash here. I'm going to make a little transfer to this stack of this empty envelope over here. You know, you're playing robbing Peter to pay Paul. Don't do that. You'll get in a lot of trouble really fast. Ask me how I know.
Well, one of the things that a good friend of mine who's very wise with his money once said, he goes, look at your bank statement every single day. Like he wakes up and, you know, some people sit there and scroll Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
What?
Yeah, TikTok, it's still a thing. I didn't delete it. Like some people. Anyways, what he does, he looks at his bank statement right off the bat. And what that does is he goes, okay, did it grow? Did it shrink? How much money do I have? He's like, I mean, money is energy, right?
No, yeah.
You know, and debt is you owing energy to someone else. So instead of draining that energy and giving it to someone else, you know, he knows, okay, yeah, this is how many dollars I have. It's growing. I did A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, and I have this much now. Now I did 5, 6, and 7, and now my amount went down. So it's one of those things that you can sit there and kind of play these little psychological games with yourself and go, hey, is this working better? Is this working worse?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think somewhere in either the article or one of my posts, I was talking about that energy exchange, right? The gift for a gift. And you are putting in your work, right? The blood, sweat, and tears to make that money. And then you're giving that to someone. And a really interesting exercise is breaking down your bill into the amount of hours it took. I mean, if you're doing a standard 9 to 5 and you know your salary, or even if, you know, from selling so much product, this is how much we're going to have, to break that down, you know, spending $100. How much time is that? Well, that's an hour and a half of my wage or whatever, 2 hours of my wage or 3 hours of my wage. Is like, holy smokes. I got to do this job for 3 hours to pay for that meal. Are you kidding me? So you can start to put it in perspective and lights will go off.
Absolutely.
Bigly. I mean, this actually cost me a little bit of money. It cost me a little bit of money, but I'm hoping to earn some money off of this too. So that's a little different perspective. But
right.
Yeah. Yes. So avoid temptation. A big one too, and this is where we start to get into what you're building towards. So as you're kind of watching what you're spending and you're kind of tracking it, maybe just in a little notebook, you're writing down what you're spending. You can start to get a profile, right? It's like that guy looking at his bank account every week. You're doing the same thing, but you're tracking your expenses, and suddenly you're starting, gas. I'm spending a lot of money on gas. What am I doing and where am I going? And I'm spending this much money on groceries, and we're wasting a lot of that food. How is that possible? You start to put 2 and 2 together, and you can start to develop a budget. And every time somebody, myself included, here's, let's make a budget, you're like, oh, I hate it. Some people really love it, but man, it can be really frustrating. But this is the basis of it. And we do have some tools in Small Scale Life to help you start budgeting, and it works. It's gotten us out of a pickle for a long time. For a long time, we sucked with money, and it got us out of it. Go ahead.
What are some of these tools that you're talking about?
There's some spreadsheets that will help you track your expenses and start to develop. Okay, I'm going to spend this much on my mortgage, this much on my cell bill, this much on gas, this much on garbage. You can kind of start to build that profile and track your expenses and see where you're going off course maybe and need to correct. So it's something we've used for years, and I've had it out there and now I'm advertising it again. So the spreadsheet, just a simple spreadsheet, a couple of them actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
That worksheets are one of those big things that, Yes, they sound really dorky.
Yep.
You sit down, you think about it for a little bit. It's your meditation time
Mm,
on a certain subject. You write it down and put it on paper. Seems a whole lot different than when you just keep it in your noggin.
yeah, that's true because we forget. We get moving, and some of us have squirrel problems. Oh, there's a pileated woodpecker over there. Oh, there's Sam the squirrel over there. Wow,
That's
Wait, what
because
was I doing?
they're using Tommy cake seeds.
That's right. And just wait till they get their taste buds on this baby. Woo! It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, everybody hates the sound of budgeting, but it's methodical. It's baby steps. You're just stepping through this and kind of working through it. The other thing, it's like dieting too. Hate to say it, Mister. I failed at like 15 programs. If you slip up and you screw up on your no spend or your frugal February, well, just get back up on the horse and do it better, right? If you screw up on your diet, don't wait till next Tuesday because today is Monday. No, 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 no. Get back on the horse for the next meal, right? I mean, people screw up. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Just get back on the horse. Now, if you buy a luxury vehicle and put yourself in $100,000 debt, then we need to have another conversation. So just don't quit. That is the key. Keep going. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Just keep moving, keep going forward. And yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, and you don't even know you're making the mistake at the time. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you're like, I really shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, you'll regret it later. Like I went to Golden Corral on Sunday with my son. I ate way too much and I felt like junk. I regretted it. I knew I shouldn't be doing that. Don't go there.
I have not been there for years, to be honest with you.
Don't.
Yeah.
You'll be like me, and you will regret it.
Yeah. No. We're trying to lose some weight here, and just pigging out is not going to help me. Another thing that's key, same with dieting, wellness, that thing, get support, right? Get people who are walking this path with you, because inevitably you're going to get invited out to dinner. You're going to get invited out to a guy's night out or girl's night out. And you're going to be like, I don't think so. I'm going to be doing this no spend February. And then they're going to say, what is that? So stupid. Come on.
Pure pressure.
You know what happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you have support, people you can lean on who are like-minded, boy, where have we heard that before? Kind of doing the same walk, you're going to get there, right? And you're going to kind of lean on them instead of like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go. Psychology.
It's all about those mental games in your head, like everything. And that's one of the, I think the biggest thing for me is it's that mental game, frugal February, gamification of your life. Man, we should just have a whole conversation about gamification, how to win with making your life into a game.
Yeah, that's actually a good topic. Actually, let's see what else. Again, we are moving towards building habits here, right? Whether it's doing the 24-hour fast or now doing the frugal February or no spend February. We're starting to put habits in place, and it'll help your prepping if you're doing that. It'll help your homesteading if you're doing that. It's just going to help you with life. If you're not broke and stressed out all the time, think of how much capacity that's going to free up in your brain. Take that weight off your shoulders. I mean, it gives you different perspective, and that gives you, again, different avenues of freedom, right? Just think, what would you do right now if you had no debt? What would you do? What could you do? No house payment, no car payment, no phone payment, no cable. You're totally free and you've got some money in your pocket. You could do whatever you want. What would you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh man, Greg, he's leaving us. Greg, you are awesome, buddy. Love you. safe travels if you're out on the roads, dude. And we'll talk to you. I need to have you on the show soon, my friend. Soon. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we're looking at, is starting to set those good habits and start to set yourself up. And when you're stressed out, this is how it goes. And I know from experience, when you're stressed out, you get depressed, you start to eat, you maybe start to drink, you're just going to sit around and not do anything. You're not going to do anything you should be doing. You're going to have some stinking thinking. And it's like a cycle that starts to repeat itself over and over and over. Then you think you're worthless, and then you start over again. Don't do that. Start to break that cycle, and start to take the baby steps towards a better you, a better life, a better small scale life.
Perfect. No, I think I don't see how you could say it any better. I mean, it's that domino effect, and this is breaking that dominoes going the wrong direction, and trying to do something with your life, just as a small, right?
Yeah.
You don't think of it as anything, a huge accomplishment until it's done, right? These little steps can bring you really, really far. It's a game of inches. It's not a game of miles. It's a game of inches. And which way are those inches going?
Right.
You need to find those baselines. You got to look at where you're at, set yourself up, write it down on paper. And you can't put it in your head. You just don't try. I've tried to do it myself. It doesn't look the same. So, and so everyone's probably saying, including myself, going, yeah, Adam, I know. It's not as easy as it sounds, but it is, but it isn't. I get it.
Right. So if you're interested in more or want to read these tips over again, check out the No Spend Challenge, Can You Survive 28 Days article on Small Scale Life. On there, we already are streaming live. You can watch us on YouTube. The podcast, it's going to go right into place. There are some links to the budget stuff. And then also, I got a little typo there. Join us on the Small Scale Life Facebook group. We will be there, and you can get support there. That comes back to that support. So there's lots of action items for you. Probably the biggest one is go to this page and just look at it, right? And kind of wrap your head around it, come up with a plan, and start. That is the biggest thing. Don't be afraid. We can do it. I did a 24-hour fast, and I did a 36. Thinking I might do another one. What the hell, right? So let's do this, man. Let's change our life one little bit at a time.
Now, was it scary doing that fast?
It was a little scary, the first one, but then it was like, hey, this is all right. This is no big deal. I can do this.
Yeah. It's like once you get in it, it's like, yeah, not that bad at all. You think it's a lot worse than it really is.
Yeah. I think I had the last something at 3:30 today, so I might just truck it and just do it. Just do it, man. 3:30 tomorrow. That'll be my end time.
There you go.
Go.
or you could just jump into the cold plunge tank.
You know what? I need to do that. I need to put some water in it, and I will jump in it. So I did fix the bird bath, so now that's working, and I need to put some more water in my cold plunge tank. So yeah, the deer have been drinking out of there. So
right, little Tommy T.
Little Tommy T. That's right. Tasty, delicious. So what's happening over at the MF or at the Modern Frontier Farms, man? What's happening?
Well, this week it's just a lot of little things happening. Like always, there's projects that need to be done around here, and they're all kind of small and just nothing major. We do have on Saturday, we're going to be hanging out over at Rushing Water's Customer Appreciation Day. I'll be handing out samples.
Cool.
We're expanding our business over there.
Nice.
And getting more products on the shelf. So
can confirm that their trout dip was fabulous. It did not last long. That stuff was boom gone, and the crackers and then your meat sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Boom! It just disappeared as fast as I brought it out. So that's awesome, dude. Glad you're going to be over there.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
it's going to be a fun time. They're going to be serving up some MRF and burgers over there. So
Nice.
uh, it was a great turnout last year. It's that time of year people just don't want to be sitting inside their houses. It's just good people, good times, good food, and it's not really that expensive to do either. So
Yeah, I was going to ask, was there a cost associated with it, or is it not too bad?
no, it's not too bad. I'm not sure what they're going to be charging for the burgers. Burgers and a couple drinks. There's going to be samples.
Sure.
I'm not sure what samples they're going to be giving out. All I know is if you want to try my beef sticks, I'll have them there.
Awesome. Very cool. And Rushing Waters is in what town? Where's that?
Palmyra.
Oh, Palmyra. Very nice. I've been there. Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. And what's happening over here? We're going to be participating in our Frugal February. We've got Jules is working on some very cool things that are going to be hitting the street here probably in the next week. And we'll have more to talk about there. I'll be working with my new molds. I've got a couple orders to fill. So there we go. Etsy, I was working on that. So it's all coming together. Pretty excited about it. And I need to do a cold plunge. It's been too long, man. And the weather is good. So let's do this.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think I'm excited to take on this challenge of Frugal February. We'll check in next week.
Yeah.
I know where we're at, what we didn't do, what we did do, and exercise that brain a little bit. It's so easy just to sit there and go, oh, we're just going to spend a couple dollars and do something with it. But it takes a little bit of brain power to figure out what you're going to do and without.
Right. Yeah. And, hopefully I'll poll some of the folks in the Small Scale Life Facebook group and get some questions from them and maybe do some Q&A. So go over there, Facebook, and join and throw some questions in there. We will answer questions that you might have. And if you have some tips, throw those in there too. And we'll give you credit and read those off as well and throw some of our own thoughts in. I think that'll be fun. We'll do this all month because, man, we got to do it together. That we are in it to win it. So let's do it.
Absolutely. Sounds like a fun time.
Yes. Yes. All right, my friend. Well, this was a good show. A lot of fun. Again, extreme close up. Oh my God, we're crazy. Anyway, I hope you all have a great week. This is Tom from Small Scale Life.
And this is Adam with Modern Frontier Farms.
Right. Remember to learn to grow, be a little better every day. We will see you all very, very soon. So take care, everybody.
Peace.
See ya.